says we're live. We say that every single week. Let's wait for a couple of eyeballs to show up and we can dance and be goofy for a minute.
Which kind of dance is your preferred?
Let's do the floss. The cabbage
in
patch.
My chair. This is how you get viewers.
Well, we do have someone watching now. So let's hey everybody, welcome to the Punk Rock Saves Lives PMA session for this wonderful 5/5 of 21, which also is Cinco de Mayo, a made-up holiday. Yes, a made-up holiday. It is not Mexican Independence Day, but that's sometimes what they say, but it's not. So hope everybody's doing good. We do this every week. Dan's wearing a blank shirt.
Kind of.
What's on there?
Favorite band ever, Circus Survive.
Circus Survive. I'm rocking Suburban Resistance, kind of throwing a little love to my brothers out there in Vegas and my label mates. Actually, pretty cool to say. And it looks like Mr. Joe is rocking our Denver buddies in the Whale. That's beautiful. They're actually getting to play a show here very, very soon. So
I saw they played one recently for the first time in a year.
Yes, I was at that show. So
Nate was flying.
Hi, Sinead. We say hello to people a lot, and I throw the comments up. So if you know someone, don't be afraid to say hello. Somewhere in the next few minutes, guys, I will have to jump up. Tina and I are babysitting some dogs for the weekend, and they're supposed to have been dropped off about 30 minutes ago. They haven't shown up yet. So if you see me jump up, that's what's going on. And there's our brother Richard. How are you, buddy? Look at there. And one of our inspirations. I don't know if you remember him. He was a bouncer, Joe, at Hogs and Heifers, where we have the shows in Vegas. He's usually our doorman. And unfortunately, Rich was hit on his motorcycle right before COVID and has lost the lower part of his leg. But he is kicking serious butt and PMA action. The guy is on it. It looks like someone just pulled up in front of the house. So I'm going to duck out for a second. Dan, tuck away.
You're good. So you are from Tempe, Arizona, is what I'm hearing?
Well, born in Phoenix. Actually born in Phoenix proper, but live in Tempe right now. I've moved around the valley.
Absolutely. How's it been out there lately?
I mean, it's Arizona, so the nature's beautiful, the politics suck, and there's been some music starting to finally pop up live.
Beautiful. Kick ass, man. It's good to have that little bit, even at a local bar or something, a little bit of support and reason to just kind of get out a little bit if needed. So the name Every Show Joe. I did read the origin, and I know you get that probably a handful of times. So you pretty much do everything when it comes to from media to interviews to.
I try. I haven't done the interview stuff in a little bit, but
gotcha.
In about a year and a half.
This is true. You do have a great
for obvious reasons.
Yeah, that's been the tight knit for everybody with everything, but hopefully everything's getting going a little bit further with the vaccines being released and.
Yeah, I used to play video games in the same room with some local artists and stream it and interview them that way, and it's just wasn't cohesive to COVID for the last year.
I can see that. I can see why. Rob's got more dogs.
As I say, we can see more pups.
Oh man, that man and the dogs, him and Tina.
Dogs are awesome. I was going out, normally going out regularly enough that I kind of felt bad when I lost my last dog. He ended up having like a tumor, and kidney failure. But after that, I was like, it's not fair. I felt bad. I'm like, I'm going out all the time. Might as well not have an animal that's dependent on me. I say that after now. I would have loved an animal for the last year.
This is true. We've definitely had our evenings where we definitely want segments where it's pretty much Kenzie and Rob and Tina with their dogs,
which are awesome.
100%.
just like that, I'm back. And we've got 2 dachshunds more.
Damn.
They're cute
I'm
kids.
jealous.
Do you have a big yard?
We do. We do have a nice. Believe it or not, somehow I got a really rad. When I bought this house, it had a really rad backyard. It's not a big house, but it's got a great backyard and front yard.
Awesome.
Straight off.
We love it. Yep. So John said he knows you, Mr. Baldwin.
Oh, yes, I know, John.
And he think you
Hey, John.
probably Social D and Fog and Molly. Was that the Mesa Amphitheater? That was the Mesa.
Yes, I think that's right.
You know every show, so come on, every show, Joe.
I tried to.
And
I've learned in a year where most of my memories are in the same room.
Yeah,
I start to lose some of the bookmarks.
I think I'm probably not the only one to coin this, but is it every stream, Joe, right now? So,
It's basically been trying to catch everything. Some slip through the cracks over the time, but
you've thrown
I try to watch.
throw it towards me that I've gone, I got to catch that. So, I know.
Yeah, and I always advise people just to still keep an eye and look for themselves, and just because sometimes artists are just randomly popping up and streaming because they want to. I mean, I've caught some people at midnight before, which I didn't expect to, but I'm like, oh, let's see what they're doing. Oh, they're playing. Let's go with it.
And I think, yep, there's a hello, fellow Arizonan. Look at that. So I don't know I don't know what y'all covered while I was gone, and Agro has jumped on too. There's our boy Ricky Agro down there in Orlando. So, did you talk about what's going on COVID wise around Arizona? Is it
so? Pretty much, our governor rolled back everything. There is still kind of a ongoing battle of enforcement on a city and county level. So I know Tempe, where I'm at, city of Phoenix proper, Flagstaff, and is it Pinal, where Tucson is, the actual county of Pinal, have all been kind of like, no, we're keeping these intact. And so it's been kind of back and forth.
It seemed like Florida's governor just did the same thing and overruled all the local municipalities.
I'm waiting to see what happens in court. But so far, nothing's gone to court. It's just been cities insisting they have the right to enforce what they're doing in their own city and county.
That's good. And but I have been seeing some hope for shows in May and June. Is that
yeah, we've being the westernmost and openmost. We have the Punk in the Park at the end of the month.
We're still waiting to hear from them. We have applied to have a booth there, so we'll see if they allow us.
It's in an empty wave pool.
That'll be fun.
So
and hot, most likely.
Yes, it's already. When I saw that, I was already reminiscing about Warp Tours in Phoenix and thinking about what it'd be like to be in a. I'm assuming the pool is white when there's no water in it, so having that glare.
Oh yeah, better wear some sunscreen everywhere because it's going to reflect up at you like snow.
Yes. So we had that and a Fishbone show literally the next day in the same venue announced. Oh. And then it's been kind of a bunch of local stuff popping up. Like Yucca has reopened. They're still requiring masks and they're still doing some of that. And then a couple other.
I think our boy Jason might be there tonight.
Yeah. Yes. And I think I saw they're setting him up outside. So.
Oh, okay, cool.
Because I think I saw a remark about how warm it is. It's our first 100-degree day today, according to a couple news stations. So
good grief.
Damn.
Yeah, that hum in the background is my AC. I was debating whether background noise or not, but comfort.
We don't hear it. So.
That's good. That means the microphone's working to cancel out some.
Dan, what's been going on in the Chicagoland area this week or so with COVID? Is it? I know your mayor or governor said that the festivals could happen. as long as certain guidelines were met. And I think part of it is actually proving that you had the vaccine.
Yes. It's going in the line of proving you have a vaccine, and they're working on some sort of event card to go along with it. So it's as if it's like a discount card for the city and certain things. It's kind of like a way, it's another form. Really, there hasn't been much release. It's getting, not many details have been coming out, but a certain card specifically for festivals of any large scale, from Lala to Riot.
And we're working on both of those, guys, in case if they do happen, we are hopefully going to be at one or both. We're working in conjunction with Love, Hope, Strength to continue to swab at Lala and Austin city limits. And we're working, obviously ourselves to be at Riot. And we have a great relationship with the Riot Fest people. So that should, as long as they're allowed to have, what I've been told is as long as they're allowed to have with capacity, vendors and nonprofits, we're definitely on the list. So, but we just have to kind of wait to see what they're able to do. But we are talking September, so at least we got a good one.
September's busy too. Peckmark Bowling's what, the week after Riot Fest?
No, yeah, 1 week after. And
Supernova.
Supernova's the same week. Yep. And we are in I can announce now, and he'll probably do a bigger announcement. We will be at Supernova.
Cool.
I don't know if I personally will be there or Riot Fest yet. We're working on the hoot and everything, the dynamics, and we're going to do one or both, and hopefully both, but one nonetheless. And Supernova's lineup is stacked and beautiful, and so in some ways I hope to be there, and then obviously in some ways I hope to be at Riot Fest. So there's a lot going on both ways. John Baldwin says Yucca is handling their business and people were wearing masks. That's really cool. And he was there on Saturday, he says. So
that's good to hear.
That's good to hear. It's really cool to see that, we're having some socially distant shows here in Denver. And when I say that, like the In the Whale show a couple of weeks ago, only 100 people are allowed in the Oriental, which holds a lot more than 100. And they keep you in pods. I mean, you can pick your pod, but you basically have to stay in your pod with your people.
Interesting.
And that worked out really well. Robbie Recon from Dallas, hello. We like to say hello to as many people as we can, so that's rad. Welcome in from Dallas. There's a chance we'll be coming to Dallas. I've got to get it all cleared with the promotion company. I can't speak. But the promotion company, I worked 40 hours the last 3 days at work on purpose so I could take tomorrow and Friday off. So a little mini vacation. And I know travel's still a little up in the air, but I have been vaccinated for over a month and I do have COVID antibodies. So I'm taking a chance and I'm going to go fly and see my mom. I'm an only child to my mom, and I haven't seen her in a year and a half. We were very responsible through all this, but I'm finally taking a chance to fly back to Little Savannah, Georgia, and see my little mama. So I'm a little excited. So, and I can call my mom little. She's 5'3". So, and she wouldn't mind that. So, I will be wearing at least 2 masks on the plane. I kind of like. I kind of want to get one of the really good ones that they sent me home with from the hospital, and then put a cloth one over that. So, but hopefully, I'm trying not to be irresponsible, but the everything, yep. And this is Mother's Day weekend, so that's why I'm kind of taking a shot. And Richard just reminded everybody to call your moms. Call your moms if you can.
I think I'm going to take mine hiking and get out of Phoenix where it's not 100 degrees and go outdoors.
Where do you go that's not 100 degrees in the middle of the desert?
Luckily, Arizona's a big state, so you can go to Prescott, you can go to Flagstaff.
Yeah. I was one of the coldest times I've ever been was Flagstaff in like August. So
really,
yeah, I went. It might have been August, but I went through there on tour, and I stopped to see a couple of shipmates that live up that way, and it literally was. It had to be festival season, and I was going through there and stopped, and we went to a show at the Green Room. Is that what it's the Green Room?
It was the Green Room. Yucca purchased it last March, I think, or April.
Oh, what
so now it's Yucca North, but it was called the Green Room for the last couple years.
Hopefully, I mean, Yucca's great in your town, so I'm pretty sure they kept it pretty cool there. But the Green
Same
Room,
owners.
Green Room was cool, so I'm sure Yucca North will be rad too. So,
And they plan to put on some shows by the fall.
Yeah, there you go. So, all you bands that watch, make sure you check out Flagstaff. Actually, a great way to get a couple of shows in Arizona while you're there. They are a long way away though from each other, but
2.5 hours.
Oh, that's it. I was thinking
from
like
here.
4.
Yeah.
Okay.
Not terrible.
No.
That's not bad. It's kind of like saying Colorado Springs is not far from Denver.
In my mind, it seemed close, but it was also a 14-hour drive.
Yeah, it actually, you were in the home stretch. It's about an hour and a half or so, depending on traffic. Right now they're still working on that interstate. Wyatt says it's Yucca North is great. So, Mr. Clark, don't you?
Yep. Yes, Wyatt's awesome.
Yes, he is.
He drums in Skulldrug.
And he has the greatest post in the world. Every week, it's just a picture of his face going, "Here's today." I love it.
And wish everyone a good day.
Yeah, I love it. That's those. We have this incredible round group of friends, and everybody has, like, Dally has his great post that we all watch for, and we notice all that. We obviously watch yours for the recommendations too.
Thank you.
Yeah, we watch your stuff for recommendations on what to watch and what to go to, and hey, you're known enough that the Stern brothers actually tagged you in a post in a random picture on Punk Rock Bowling. So,
are they the ones who control that? I just was like, it's some unnamed social media organizing person that I probably have met.
Well, I know Sean. I know Sean does a lot. He posts a lot. Mark, he directs some of it, but I know Sean will get on there and talk smack, and I kind of love it. So,
well, you just made my day. That's gonna just be in my mind the rest of the night.
Yep.
That's super cool. I just was like, someone knows who I am, and they control this page, this Instagram. This is cool.
The Stern brothers are incredibly hands-on with most everything they do, and they're great guys. And so I can't speak high. They've done so much for my charity endeavors over the years, and I sent 1 million demo tapes to their record label back in the early late 80s and 90s. I always wanted to be on BYO. It was like
I always remember BYO for all those cool splits of covering each other.
Yeah.
Like, was it Alkaline Trio and One Man Army and Bouncing Souls and Anti-Flag?
Yes, it was. Yes, it was.
No Effects and Rancid, infamously. That's how I found it, though. I was like, No Effects is covering Rancid. Rancid's covering. Oh, I got to buy this. This is one of the volumes.
Yeah. Well, let's jump into. So how did every show Joe come to be? I know you go to every show. So did it just kind of evolve into a podcast?
It kind of did. And maybe I never put it this way, but it might have to actually play into. It was definitely for mental health. It was definitely for. I was coming off of GameStop management for about 4 years, and
from what I'm told, that is very mentally challenging.
Yeah, after 4 years, well, really 3 years in, went and saw a doctor and saw my health had basically fallen through the floor. And so their advice was, first off, get out of there. But second of all, find places of low stress that you can go to. Of course, everyone suggests like yoga and meditation. And I was like, that one time I go to a show every 2 months, I forget about the job. I forget about everything and I have fun. So I was like, all right, so we're going to go to one show a month was my original goal after I quit being a manager at GameStop. And then I went back and went to community college and got a programming degree on top. And so it kind of just gradually grew into more and more. People started recognizing me from kind of starting the pits occasionally and being in the pit. And then on top, I started making friends with some of the local bands and then getting their invites to their shows and that's where it really kind of spiraled forward, where steamrolled forward, I think might be the better word. But yeah, so then I'm like, oh, shoot, you're awesome. And then this is maybe not the most advisable part of my story, but I would post pictures my Facebook timeline. I literally would just use it because I drink at the shows, and I'm like, I want to remember the bands I thought were awesome last night or this night. And this way, if I'm too drunk to remember, there's a post on my Facebook timeline of the band I thought was awesome.
Yep.
So it was that, and that kind of is where both the photography and the Every Show Joe thing started, because I think they are horrible looking back at them, but I appreciate all the well-meaning comments and praise of the photos I took back then, and kept doing it because of that. And then also just kept going to more shows because I'm like, these are friends. These are people that I like to see, plus they play awesome music. And yeah, it just kind of went from there. 2012 and 2013 is what my brain, I think, is when it got to many times a week.
And it really is. I mean, I don't know, since 2011, I've probably seen you at 100 shows I've been at. We don't, and we live quite a bit of ways from each other.
Yes.
So I mean, I've come through on different tours, and we've been at Punk Rock Bowling, and we've been at other stuff like that. But obviously, Authority Zero is a big combination for the two of us,
and mutual friends like Wayne and and I met them through. That's part of that 2012, 2013 time where one of my favorite local radio DJs, Craven Moorhead, did ska punk show for like 14 years before they changed formats, and he was like, him and Nancy started a streaming radio station here, and I met Wayne through the internet originally, but eventually in person because Ska Parade, Tazy's show, got put on there too. And they were into that, and I kind of just met people through multiple paths in the end.
I would say Wayne is the Every Show Joe of Denver. So.
He just needs to get an Instagram. I keep telling him to get an Instagram so I can tag him.
I can't tell you how much I think of Wayne, and the fact that it's not a show in Denver if I don't see Wayne. There's something wrong.
He gets out a lot, and then when I visit, it's just like it's like the reverse of here. It's just like everyone knows Wayne.
Everybody knows Wayne, and that's not a bad thing. So
I sometimes mispronounce his last name as Forrest, but
he only kill you for a second.
Yes.
Most gentle guy I've ever met, so you can laugh at that. So it's pretty
one of the nicest, and I appreciate a lot he's done for even me as a friend.
Matter of fact, I think that might be the last time I saw you in Denver was his birthday party show.
And I was originally planning before COVID to go to his one last year. I still have a Southwest credit sitting because I was like, well, where am I going to go? I just got to cancel and take my credit.
There you go. Brandon says, "What up, Joe?"
Hey, Brandon. He's in a band called American Standards. It's really, really good from here.
Awesome. I've seen when I've come down for the Authority shows and stuff, I've picked up on a lot of the Valley of the Sun bands, I guess. And a lot of y'all are big on Mad Dog Tannen. I'm just trying to throw some other bands out there.
I was like, I think Authority Zero loves them too, because I think every Authority Zero show for the last 7 years that they probably played it.
Well, and then there's our other favorite band from the area is Venomous Beings. So,
yes, true. Dre and Gabby and them also super rad.
Yep, I working on something with Gabby right now to try to get the Venomous Pinks on Volume 2 of the Punk Rock Series Lives album. So
it's super cool.
We'll see if they can knock it out and get it in time. They are very interested. I forgot to email her the agreement.
I was just listening to their podcast, The Sound Sisters, while I work today.
Now they do Sound Sisters, Grave Sisters, and one other, right? Isn't there 3?
Is there a third?
Or could be wrong, but
I know one is about ghost stories and one is about punk rock.
Yep. And punk, it isn't one of the people on one of the two with them she's with Punk World News or
something like that, because I forgot her name. but she also is into the what do you call it? I'm just going to go with ghost stories, but
Yep,
there's a different word for that.
Not the occult.
Yeah, ethereal.
Cool story.
Yes.
So yeah, we're stoked about that. We're talking to a lot of bands. Just a little update, guys. If you did see it this week, believe it or not, Volume 1 of the album showed up to IM Records out in Vegas, and unfortunately, all but about 15 of the 1,000 albums were warped. And we don't know if it was from sitting on a hot truck in Vegas or if they were pulled off the press and put in the things too soon. The great people at Pirates Press are putting us and repressing them for us. So it's going to be a little delayed, but they are pushing us to the front of the line to reprint them. But if you did order one, you are still going to get it. You don't have to reorder. Adam did throw out a picture, and if you did see it, the surprise was they're green. They're an olive green. So we'll probably do another color for Volume 2 and Volume 3. And Adam had a great idea. Once we get to Volume 5, maybe when you order, if you've been collecting them, maybe he makes some kind of special box set for the 5 to fit in one like sleeve or something. So let's cross our fingers. We can keep going, and the bands keep donating, and it could be a great fundraiser. And speaking of it, Clinton Smith, United Defiance, just jumps in. How are you, Clinton? Oh, that's Richard. I hit the wrong one.
He's asking for a warped one.
Yep. No, we can't. I think they have to give them back. I'm not sure exactly what's going to happen with the others, but this is such a special thing with all of the bands that donated songs and for this 1,000 pressing. And unfortunately, guys, we get a lot of questions on whether or not it can be available digital, and that's unfortunately no. Just to put it, the agreement we made.
Hey, Bob.
Yeah, Bobby. Speaking of Vegas, there's another. Are you melting out there in Vegas? But we got Vegas is all over the place on the thing tonight. So Vegas, but that's good. We wanted it to be incredibly special. There's only 1,000 of these, and with those bands, we're gonna get them right for you. So sorry about the delay. They would have shipped starting Monday, but now we're gonna make sure they're right before we do that. And Robert says it's not hot in Vegas yet. I guess it's kind of like Vegas. I mean, it's kind of like Phoenix. That's kind of subjective to the fact that he's lived there. If I went there, I'd probably go, I can't believe it's this hot already. But
yeah. 100 degrees today.
It's only 95 there, according to Richard. Today. It's only 95 in Vegas right now.
It's a cool 95.
See, those guys don't think 95 is hot. Okay.
I actually kind of agree.
That's
step outside into 95 and be like, it could be worse.
That's called PMA. Also, if you're wondering, guys, Mackenzie is not with us tonight because she had her second shot. Yes, but it has knocked her on her butt a little bit. So she called and said she was going to get some more sleep tonight so she's back to normal and can go back to work. And obviously, Dan and myself and Mackenzie are interchangeable at times, and we'll cover each other no matter what. You might get all three of us. You might get one of us. You might get you might get April subbing in. You never know who you're going to get. So I left out Leland. Leland does a lot of guest hosting too. So, heat wave of 65 tomorrow in Connecticut, Sinead says. 65. Yes. Yep. We were there today. We actually had 80s this weekend when we had an awesome diaper drive. Something new. I don't know if you know, but it's like 60% of people that are underserved, your stuff like WICs and welfare and all that do not cover diapers. Didn't know that. It will cover formula, but they don't cover diapers. So people can't buy diapers. So diapers is one of the most unknown cost to underserved people in our communities. So we did a diaper drive, and Reno Divorce did their the premiere of their new video on a big wall outside up here at our little bar at East Fax Tap, and we got a ton of diapers. They're in the camper. I'm going to try to deliver them Monday or Tuesday too. Believe it or not, there are diaper banks, guys. So check out your town. Diapers are not cheap. I didn't know. I don't have kids other than, our furry kids, which I can hear barking outside at the moment. But I went to buy some for the drive, and man, diapers are not cheap. So if you can, do something in your town. We had a lot of people do food drives. I know Death or Glory Tattoo in Omaha had a great food drive and like bedding drive and everything for some people in their area, and it was awesome, and they did it in our name. There's another, Dan, can you look up in one of the posts, my brain just went numb. There's a group doing a food drive for us all of May. We posted about it on.
Sure.
Yep. If you can find that, throw that up there too. But
no problem.
We're trying to take ours to We Cycle, and that's funny. WEE Cycle, and it's a play on recycle, but We Cycle, and they're a diaper bank in Aurora, Colorado. So we're gonna take them over there to them. It's just getting during COVID to get someone at the bank on their non pickup days. So I got to figure out how to pull that off. Our big month of April when we did, I think I said it last week, but we ended up donating over 1,000 pounds of food just from 2 drives here in Denver. East Fax Tap was one of them, and Brixton Barbers was the other. People came out, brought tons of food. We were able to donate that 1,000 pounds of food and 100 period kits. Now, this is another group we're going to be working with. So everybody go look up Period Kits. They're a nonprofit as well. And they try to build dignity by getting actual period supplies to underserved women in our communities. So check that out. We're going to be doing a lot of work with them. Matter of fact, we've been kicking around the idea at one of the big festivals besides the bone marrow registry and some of the stuff that we do. There you go. Some of the stuff we do, we might have period supplies with us and encourage you to come to the booth, do a 15 to 20 minute service project, and load up some bags with the period kits and decorate the bags. So they have them to donate to different places. So that could be a hands-on project for some of these cool festivals as we get going. So please check out Period Kits. They're rad. The founder grew up with Chris Sherry, the famous artist that does all the Descendants and artwork.
Cool.
And they grew up together in Germany, or overseas. They were military brats, but if I understand correctly. And we had a big talk, but we had Jim from the Nuns of Brixton and Pitch Invasion playing some fun music behind us while we were talking. So some of it I get mixed up. So, but so Joe, I know you like to do. You always push a good thing going besides mental health with music and everything. What are some of the things that you think are important to people need to find out about?
I mean,
throw you on the spot.
It's like, well, I go right to the things that I say every week is just like the Black Lives Matter, like racism, like trans lives matter, like just equality. That seems to be somehow a hard issue for people, and I don't understand. Well, I understand, but I don't think it makes sense. And supporting those causes, and that I see everyone should be the same. And
agree, and
should be a level playing field.
And if more and more of us say that and believe that and stand for that, it's going to grow. We've been saying it for years, and I've been saying it. I'm a little older than you guys, obviously, but I've been saying it since I was a kid. We've got we've got to teach our children to be open-minded and accepting of all others, and hopefully, eventually, we're going to grow to where nobody sees. I don't want to say nobody sees color, because a lot of our differences are what make us so unique. But that doesn't mean we're different. You know what I'm saying? It's kind of weird. It's kind of hard to explain. But a lot of what we have different makes us unique and cool. But
embrace our differences, but don't treat each other different for it.
Yeah, thank you. I love that. Thank you. And that's part of our whole, the Punk Rock Saves Lives mission. When we first started, we wanted to be able to represent a lot of different things and use our scene to actually affect change in the world. And we've streamlined it even more. I say streamlined, even though Dan can attest, we have a ton of projects going on right now, and every day someone's stepping up to bring another one to us, and it's unbelievable. I mean, now we have our incredible sober group that's been going for less than a month, and if you are sober or sober curious, please check that out. They have meetings. When we say meetings, they are not an AA meeting. They have a Zoom group get together every Tuesday night to be supportive of each other. No preaching, no shaming, no nothing. And if you're sober curious, that's a great place to maybe dip your toes in and see if it's something you want to get on. And Clinton, that's a hell of a start, buddy. And especially Clinton just said he's 11 days sober. That's
nice, man.
Awesome.
And Clinton's he sells wine, so he's around it. So if that's what you're doing, if that's your path, we completely support you, and we want to give you some support. So please check out the sober group. We have a self-harm group that just is launching this week. We have a grief group. They get all of these meetings, and if you check out Dan has put together a nice little calendar that's on the he updates every so often on the mental health page, and he posted on our regular page with when all of these meetings are, and please join. Some are Zoom, some are live, some are in the mental health group. There's all sorts of stuff, and I know Marnie is out there, and I don't know if you Joe, you might know Marnie if you met her. She's one of our dear friends that lived in Denver, also a Flogging Molly shipmate, but she got her. She's a nurse practitioner now, and she wants to launch a group of talking for people on mental health. Now, she can't prescribe, and she cannot. We're very adamant to this. She can't prescribe, and she's very adamant about it. So she can't prescribe, and she can't really recommend, but she wants to put out a group where talking about mental health drugs, so that you can have an honest answer about maybe what you've been prescribed and you don't understand completely why you're having a side effect, or if you're thinking that's something you need. She can at least say, here are some options, please talk to your doctor. And she's going to launch that one coming up. I mean, everybody keeps coming to us, and Dan can attest to this. We're getting more and more of these awesome groups to help mental, and what this all came down to was we've really become about wellness and equality. That's the two, and I know both of those are broad, and that could be, when I say wellness, all the mental health. We still will be activating the bone marrow registry, which is incredibly important to me. And we just had a big meeting with DKMS, the group that we've worked with, and they've told me that even in the time of COVID, they've been getting matches and collections from all the work we did with Love, Hope, Strength. So it's still working, guys. It works every day. You stay in the bone marrow registry till you're 61 years old. So Dan matched. Unfortunately, they haven't taken the next step yet, but a patient has hope because of that young man right there. So check that out when we get going. You can, if you don't want to wait, till you see us at a festival, go to the website. There's a link, and it'll take you to order a kit. They'll mail it right to your house, and you fill out a form, do a cheek swab, send it back in, and if you ever match someone, you get the chance to possibly donate stem cells or marrow, and it's $80 to 85% stem cells now. And if you've seen it, there's some Instagram and Facebook pictures of me donating stem cells out there. So I finally got to do it myself. So it was really cool to feel what I've been telling people it would feel like for a long time. So it was really cool. Let's see. Not in a long day. Importance of quality in sport. Our friend Duna's here. And I always say, is it Duna or Denaya? I always want to know that. She'll correct me here in a second. So, so what are you looking forward to right now, Joe? What's coming up in your stream cast or your live cast? Are you feeling like you can go out to shows?
That's been a fun tug of war for me right now. Like, Yucca's got some stuff, and I'm still hitting some pit in my stomach is what's happening when I'm trying to, which I know some of it is in my head, but some of it is still, some of it's still watching numbers and
understandable. Yeah. But what is there any big streams coming up that you're absolutely stoked about?
I've been seeing the Bridge City Fest. They're doing another one announced. Seeing those announcements has been really cool.
Yeah, I've seen some of those. Yeah, I'm stoked about that.
Now I'm trying to think what else is coming up.
I think there's one Dan might be really interested in Friday. It's you have to join the group, and you might have got an email from him to join said group. Mr. Frank Turner has launched a group called The Gathering.
Yes.
Which is funny because that's what the Alarm calls their meeting every year with all the Alarm fans is The Gathering. So now
isn't that also the like ICP thing?
Yeah. No, that's is that Gathering?
That's a Gathering.
Yeah, it is. It is the name.
But Frank just launched one, and if you were on Frank Turner's mailing list,
he streamed 2 songs today too.
Yeah.
I tuned into that.
And he's really excited about new stuff. So we wholly support that guy, and he's been great to us in the past, and I'm sure he will be in the future. So, so that's one you could jump in and join the Gathering group, and you can get it first chance to get into these live streams, which is pretty rad. Who else? Let's see.
I'm trying to think because I know there's some regulars like the Fest. Tony's been doing a bunch of streams nearly every week. And it almost sounds like he's got something bigger on the horizon coming up that they haven't announced yet. Well, we still got to figure it out, and I think I've said it last week, but we are going to be at the Fest. That's really cool. That's a bucket list for me. We're gonna have a booth in the flea market, so make sure if you go into Fest to swing by and do whatever social activation we are rocking there. We might have a couple for you. And we'll have some of our merch out too. So please come check that out. Help us keep doing good. Dang, it's really weird to talk to the main guy of every stream, and we can't figure out what's going on. Man, the Fest is a bucket list one, though. It's the war of time off versus cost. Like, I can drive to Punk Rock Bowling in 4.5 hours, be in Vegas 4 hours maybe. Gainesville's a little bit of a haul. From Arizona, yeah. Because you have to cross that little state called Texas. That is, I have done that drive, or at least from Austin, and that's still like we're still in Texas. No. I drove from Jason's house right by you to Louisiana to New Orleans. Oh man, but I had the camper, so at least I could pull over and sleep. But I was in California at a festival. I had to get to New Orleans for another festival, and I stopped in Phoenix to sleep because I left after the festival in California and just tried to kick it through the desert through the night. And I slept in front of Jason's house. Actually, kind of even going even one further with what all has happened with Punk Rock Bowling this week. That was the night of Route 61 or 91. Route 91? 91. I don't know why I said 61. Whatever the festival was, the country music festival that got attacked. Oh, in Vegas. It was that night. I was sleeping in Jason's front yard, or in the parked in front of his house, and my mom called panicked
because she thought I might have been at that festival because we did so many festivals. And Route 91, Richard, just thank you, Richard. I don't know where 61 came out of my brain.
You might be thinking Route 66 and combining
Yeah,
them.
probably combining them. But that was that same night, and later that day I had to get up and drive as far. I swear, every time you're in Texas, you're like, I can't believe this state is still going. So it's a monster.
There's a lot of flat desert in that state.
Yes. And if my buddy Matt is watching, he's a teacher out in the middle of that desert area of Texas, and he's teaching, I think, anywhere from 7th to 12th graders. He's like, he has all of them. It's not like the school's not big enough to not have teachers, but he has these giant classes of anywhere from 7th to 12th graders. It's kind of crazy, but it's really cool that he's out there, totally trying to affect youth in a positive way. So I'm proud of him.
That's good.
He waited a long time to get his teaching degree. He lived through life and then took it on.
Richard is
Richard,
still going.
Yep, you're still going. Richard, there's our PMA right there. He's from Texas and he's still going.
And I did just think of something that I should have thought of immediately.
What's that?
The Lagwagon Day.
Oh,
May
yes.
16th, they're doing 2 streams. That was awesome last year, and Joey's definitely learned a bit about streaming over the last year, so
Yes,
it's gotten better.
Joey has done quite a bit of streams. So
Yes.
and that's good. I love them. Joey's awesome. He's just,
And you can watch 2 streams technically. I think one's like noon our time because it's for Europe, but you could technically watch both.
yeah. Who would not mind seeing Lagwagon twice in a day?
Right.
But and I'm sure. Go ahead, Dan.
No, I was just saying it's pretty much everything you need.
Yeah. We get to tell some fun stories over the time, but my wedding night, I got to be in a pool on a boat watching Lagwagon play on a stage while I was swimming and splashing in the water, and lost my wedding ring the night of my wedding in that pool somewhere. But
Never
that's
heard
because,
that one.
yeah,
How did you get it?
Well, I wear the silicones because doing all the roadie stuff and loading and everything.
Oh,
I saw a friend's finger get ripped off in high school by our class rings, and so I've always been weird about rings. But so these silicones are really rad. They're wedding rings, and they're cool, and you can get them all designed and all sorts of stuff. But somehow, I guess from swimming in the chlorine or whatever, my hands contracted, and we were splashing along the Lagwagon, and I wake up the next morning and my ring's not on my finger. So I was like, it apparently flew off in the pool. But
good story and fun times.
Yes,
coming from it.
And but losing your wedding ring, your wedding night, yes,
That's probably also traumatizing at the same time.
I was more freaked out than Tina was. Let's put it that way. Tina was like, "We can get another one, Rob." They're only, they're $20-$25 depending on which one you order. So it's not that
works.
Not the end of the world. We can get another one. And I was like, "That was the first one." Yeah. But it's pretty. I can't believe we have been talking for 15 minutes already. It's pretty.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, that's the fun part about the PMA sessions. But let's get into some cool stuff that we like to close out with every year, and every week, every year. Yeah.
Wow, one time a year. This is it.
One time a year. Uno mas. No.
So your favorite albums of this year?
I was not prepared.
I was not prepared for that, but let's throw out a couple.
Oh, man. Actually, the Cheek Face album that came out has been my favorite so far this year. And one of many... That has been one thing that I've really appreciated this past year, by the way, is all these streams. I almost was thinking about it today where it almost seems like I have a West Coast bias. And through these streams, I've been able to see a lot of East Coast ska, East Coast bands. Cheek Face actually is Californian, but I've been able to find a bunch of bands that they haven't come to Phoenix, they haven't toured, or they haven't toured in this region. And Cheek Face is one of them. Like I found them in November, but then they dropped in February a brand new album, and I was listening to it for about 2 weeks straight. So
don't you love it when an album gets literally stuck in your player? And I love that. I love having something, and I used to do it more when I was nothing but CDs or something in the car. I would honestly get stuck on one for a week, a month, or something.
Well, that's a good sign that you really like the album because it didn't annoy you enough to take it out.
Yeah, exactly. But it's a little tougher now with all the digital platforms and everything.
Yeah. Speaking of, there is that awesome EP Authority Zero put out.
Oh yeah.
And that I have my little kit here of tees and golf ball.
Here's the weird part. Here's the really crazy part. I didn't get the tees and golf ball, which is funny. I don't know if you know this, Joe, but I was a golf pro for 10 years.
So how did this happen?
I got on to order it that night, and I put it in my cart, and I think I had to go get my credit card from my wallet or something, and something happened, and I never made it. I somehow just never made it back. So, well. I mean, I want my boys to get support, and I think they sold them all. So that's
hit up Dolly. I mean, if anyone has golf stuff, probably
no. Dolly will use it.
Yes. Oh, I know he will.
That boy is straight addicted to golf, and I know the feeling. That's what happened to me in the '90s, and that's how I ended up. I actually took it to the point of dropping out of the music business for 10 years and being a golf pro. So, yep. So I get it. I will agree it's a sport, but it's a sport you can do yourself. You don't have to have other people. You just need a big field with a bunch of green grass and a hole. And,
or at least a mark that you consider a hole.
Yeah, exactly. You don't even have to, but the challenge of making yourself get better at something, be it guitar, be it being a better self, being a golfer, being you can go all this musician. I think I said that already. But the challenge of something that you can do yourself to get better and better yourself is pretty cool. And golf, if you hit one good shot, when you first get going, and Dally's probably a very adamant person to tell you this, you lay in bed that night going, okay, how'd I do that one? Why didn't I do the others like that? And that if you're competitive or driven or anything built into your soul, that eats at you and you want to go do more. So golf's an addiction, but it's an addiction that it's something you're trying to better. And that's not now, obviously if just like anything can go in bad ways. So make sure, to watch out, do what you can to be even keeled and, seek help if needed. Golf help, golf intervention. But I've been joking about calling Dally in on that one. We'll start a new TV show, Golf Intervention.
You could do a golf podcast with Dolly.
Punk rockers do golf.
Punk and golf, yep.
Punk rock golf. We'd have to get old Fat Mike to visit us because he likes playing a golf club. And,
that and thumb wrestling.
Yes. he did challenge me to thumb wrestling on the crew.
He likes to thumb wrestle people.
Only him.
And he was doing that when we had Riot Fest here in Denver. They played an after show, Me First and the Gimme Gimmes played an after show, and Mike was there, and I swear he was finger wrestling everybody in the Summit Music Hall. So that was pretty funny. And
hey, Lauren.
Lauren is here as usual. What is PRG? What am I?
Punk rock golf, I think, is.
Punk rock golf.
Well, I was making sure I didn't. Sometimes I'm a little, 51, and I've done a lot. Richard, we have talked about a golf tournament already, and I've had this rad idea for a music-based golf tournament for a long time, and I really want to make it happen with this. And you don't have to be good. Thank you, Rita. We figured it out before you posted it. But
you can turn it into a music festival like punk rock bowling.
Well,
just with golfing.
Somebody might steal my idea, but I want to there's, believe it or not, you can have like 38 to 40 teams on a full golf tournament. And that means there are 2 foursomes playing off of each tee, and you can triple stack, I think, a couple of holes. Now, that's one of those fun tournaments that's long. It's you're not gonna finish in 4 hours. Let's just put it that way, which is the normal standard for playing golf. But that's when they're charity golf tournaments. That's pretty cool. But so I want to find 40-ish punk rock people that like golf, or even if they don't like golf, are willing to be on all of these teams. So we add a 5th member to every team, and we auction them off to raise money. And so say Dally was one, and you wanted to play golf with Dally. We get him into Denver or to wherever we're going to do it. Phoenix might be a good place with all your
sounds. Warped Tour did something like that. It wasn't at every stop, but they did a Warped Tour bowling charity event.
Yes, they did do the bowling. Yeah,
that's how I met. Well, that's how I met Big D in the kids table. But I wasn't the donator. I just showed up because I was bored that night and hung out with the people that donated.
Yeah, we did that. I was part of the tournament on the Warped Tours I was at. It was once a tour at least. And, but the idea being is every team gets a celebrity, be it anywhere from, whoever that we can get that plays golf, and every team gets a celebrity, and that person's on your team whether they can golf or not. And at worst, you're having fun with them. If you drink, you're having some beers with them. If you don't drink, you're having some laughs with them and playing some golf together. And that person can play, and you can use their shots. So it kind of gives every team 5 players, even if. So that's my idea: is we can auction off the players, to raise money, and you have a blast, and you maybe have a story. And see, I have a story that kind of sparked it, and my buddy Mac can tell you a lot of that. There's a famous story of me getting to play golf with Eddie Money, of all things. And if you remember the 70s, I think, didn't he just pass away?
He did.
Yeah. But Eddie came to my golf before, when I first started getting into the golf business. I worked at a golf store, and Eddie came in with his manager to get all new golf clubs one day. And I helped him and sold him all his golf clubs. And this is when I lived in Nashville, and every musician in the world plays golf there. And he was like, well, Rob, after doing all this for me, what are you doing tomorrow morning? And I went, hey, I'm off tomorrow. And he goes, you want to play golf with me? And I was like, hey, what the heck? I'll go play golf with Eddie Money. And we get there the next day, and I really can't tell the rest of the story on here. But it was actually a very, very fun story. So if you see me at a festival, come up and say, tell me the Eddie Money story, and I'll be happy to tell you.
You get Alice Cooper to golf. That's I think that's one of the reasons he lives here.
Yeah, and I actually had offered him to come play at my golf course in Nashville.
Oh, that's super cool.
I accidentally walked into Alice Cooper at a Nashville Predators game, and I was like, hey, I don't mean to be weird, but I'm a golf pro. I have a golf course. If you want to play while you're here, let me know. And he was like, I got your card. I was like, thanks.
He does seem to like his sports. I don't know if it's how much of it's real or not.
But I was like, and also thank you for everything you did for rock and roll. And he goes, man, thanks. No one's ever said that. And I'm like, you're in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. I would think somebody said that. But yeah, Lauren says she'll play golf. I like it. So, and all right. So every week I ask, what are besides yours, obviously, are there any books, music, podcasts, or anything that you've been into? And we've added live streams, obviously, but
yeah,
you've been into over the last few weeks that you could pass on to tell somebody that might help them the next few weeks. What's been blowing your mind up, Joe?
I mean, actually, so Turned Out a Punk with Damien fucked up.
I talk about it all the time.
That podcast. That's been
Quite
even
possibly
before,
mine.
but that's always every week that he puts up, sometimes more than one. And then I've been doing In Defense of Ska, which the book just came out this week. I'm still waiting. I'm hoping it's in my mailbox right now. But Aaron does a podcast that I've been listening to the past couple of weeks now. And then I've been poking around the Krista Makes podcast, kind of picking and choosing so far, but I've subscribed. So now it's just there for when I run out of podcasts, just to even listen to more and more. Well, and there's been some really good stories in there.
Chris has told me he would do this show. So it's just,
awesome.
but it's a matter of, it's got to be one of those weeks when our guest has had to back out or something to see if Chris is available. Because he doesn't, he's like, my schedule's so crazy right now, I don't know if I'm available a month from now. So I'm like, oh, okay. So he wants me, so keep your eyes out. If someone ever like cancels on us with a couple of days left, maybe we'll have Chris to make some. So
that'd be cool.
But he said yes. It's just a matter of getting it done. So,
and it's just been some cool stuff. I've actually went to I have really been bouncing around, but most recently I listened to the number 2 episode of Krista Makes His podcast, and having him kind of talking to number 2 about how he knows the artist struggle as you get older. It's, if you keep doing the same thing, people complain about you just being, that's the same thing as the band. And then, but also if you try to do something new, you have a bunch of people telling you suck. And he's like, you just kind of got to trudge forward and do what makes you happy. And that was something that stuck out.
Play Die for Your Government. No. We've written 250 songs since then.
Yeah. Well, and they were talking about Brandenburg Gate, because that was where Chris and them pivoted and went and made probably one of their cleanest and best albums.
Yep. I would say since then, the last 2 albums are unreal. And I don't think either one of them, thanks to the pandemic, neither one of them have gotten the just. Now I'm a little biased because Justin is on our board of directors, and they've always been one of my favorite bands and fantastic to every charity endeavor I've ever done. So
they're always very approachable in all my interactions I've had with them.
And one of those bands that the highest praise I can give Anti-Flag is if those guys stand behind a cause. It's not a show, guys. They believe it and will bleed it. It's the real deal. So I mean that as the social justice butterfly that I am.
On a similar note, the documentary Barricades. It's really good. Go watch that about Anti-Flag.
Anti-Flag Barricades. There's also, if you do YouTube, there's I don't remember. There's a festival. Look up Anti-Flag Live, and there's all sorts of stuff out there. But they played a festival
Beyond Barricades.
They played a festival over in Europe, and the whole show is on, and they do the whole Brandenburg Gate and the crowd thing, and Pat and Chu jumping in the crowd, and Mark, their stage manager Mark Code, our buddy, jumping in the crowd and helping and singing backups, and it's just great to see. So, and they've evolved as musicians and a band so much over the years, and there's such great people. Support Anti-Flag, whether you completely agree with their politics or not. Amazing band that stands for what they believe in, and I can't. To me, that is one of the highest praises you can give someone. So, all right. Any book? You got the book. Hopefully,
In Defense of Ska. That would be the one that they're out there.
Hopefully, in the mailbox.
And they're out Mega Ran's book. That's really good
to get that one. Yes, I got to hang out with him a few years back at a show here in Denver, and just seemed like the real deal. So I really want to read that book.
That book touches on more reasons why Black Lives Matter is important. He talks about stuff that he went through, some tough stuff that he went through growing up in Pennsylvania.
I don't know if
Philly.
Yeah, I don't know if Ryan's still on here, but Brian Francis was on here earlier, and Brian Francis is also huge. If you're into that, the Mega Ran scene and the what do you want to call it?
Nerdcore hip hop.
Yep, and
kind of stolen from Nerf Herder.
Yeah. And Brian is huge, and he's in that scene. Incredible. And he throws an awesome show every year in Columbus, Ohio, called the Huge Holiday Extravaganza. And they raise tons of clothing and food for local homeless shelters. It's unbelievable.
That's super cool.
So he's going to do it. I hope I'm not blowing anything. He's going to do, I'm good at that though, Dan can tell you. But he's going to do the holiday extravaganza this year 100% virtual. And he's come to us about being a partial beneficiary. So we're going to work on some cool stuff and maybe have it's going to be like a telethon. A whole day thing is what he's got pictured. And there'll be multiple charities with it. And each charity gets a 4-hour block to raise money. And we're going to book a lot of lives. And if you notice, our beautiful director and my wife, Tina, in the background. So she just got home. So, and she's playing with the dogs. Our dogs are locked outside.
They deserve to be locked out.
Special treatment for the guests.
Richard says, Tina.
Rich, love you.
But, all right, Dan, what's been blowing you up the last few weeks?
I have actually been replaying Authority Zero's live Twitch stream through Spin Magazine. Hearing the new singles on it is just blowing me away, and it's just so awesome to finally hear them in the way they should be. So I'm really happy about that. Loving the EP, just like Joe was saying, and looking forward to that album. Besides that, Descendants just announced a beautiful new album and released a single yesterday. So that's
but the single was really old.
Correct.
They're hailing it as the lost album. It was what, 2002 they were recording it all?
Mm-hmm.
So,
it was saying the lineup for Milo Goes to College, yeah.
And you know what we think of the Descendants. They are, they're the first band on our album. If you haven't ordered one, they donated a song, and it's a unreleased track called Cortez. So, and I hope I said it right, but make sure you check it out. It's pure Descendants, and I love it. So, order one, and like I said, there aren't many left. I mean, I would say there's less than 200 left. I don't know if that's exactly right. It might be less than that. So get you one ordered while you can. And the proceeds on this first one go to our operating budget, as well as once we get all the money in, we're going to make a donation to NIVA, to the National Independent Venue Association. That's been helping a lot of our venues stay open through this. We're going to try to help them. And they, luckily, Chris Zacher that runs the Levitt Pavilion here, which is, Joe, I believe you come up to a show at Levitt. It's our little amphitheater in town. That
I've not seen anything
okay.
there, at least.
I thought you might have come up for one, but
I saw Fayuka at like Moe's, I think.
No, yeah, Moe's Barbecue. Yeah.
Yeah. And
That's
then a
good
basement
place.
show, and then I forget where the other one was.
No telling. Not Red Rocks.
No, I would love to see a show at Red Rocks.
I'm supposed to go next week.
How dare you?
And you might know who it is, Dan.
I've seen everything they've released. I just haven't memorized dates because it makes it more sad to know I can't go if I'm memorizing these dates.
Well,
Who is it?
Let's just put it this way: the pride of Memphis, Tennessee, Lucero, baby.
Beautiful.
I didn't even know I had a ticket, so I just found out I had a ticket. So I kind of stoked. Yeah, I was like, all right. And they're unbelievable songwriters. So I can't.
They just released an album this year too. That's really great.
And they are doing one of the socially distanced Red Rock shows. Red Rocks, if you want to know how they're doing it, Red Rocks holds 9,500 people. That's what it typically holds. They're only allowing 2,500 in, and that's a lot of spread out in there. So should be pretty safe, and it's a good way to open back up. So if then my push here, guys, is if your area is opening and you can go to some of this stuff, mask up, be careful, support the venues, support the artist. That's great. But if you don't feel safe, don't feel pushed into it.
And that's I'm gonna mask up and possibly that pool show. Well, empty pool show might be where I first go
Yeah,
because it's also outdoors.
well, I'm hoping I get to see you there because we're waiting on them to tell us if we can do that one and the one in California. So,
Oh yeah, that's 2 days in November.
November, 2 days in November. That sounds like a movie.
It is probably close to a movie title that it's on the tip of my tongue.
So yeah. So when it comes to shows, guys, don't feel bullied to go to them. Go if you can and you feel safe, especially if you've been vaccinated. Like we've said on here many a times before, we're not political. We're not trying to make you do something you don't want to do, but we beg you to get your vaccine because if we can get more of the punks with their vaccines, we can actually get in the pit again together soon. And that's going to help us get open and do more. And that's what we care about. I want to hug a few of you again. You know, that's saying a lot, but it's true. There's nothing in the world like personal interaction. And we've had to put it aside for a year and a half now. And it's tough on a lot of people. So take those steps to help your friends and help the people around you and do what's right for you. Obviously, we're not gonna stand here, but please consider getting the vaccine. I had mine.
I've got mine.
I'm not getting better 5G reception. I wish I was.
Let's see.
Yeah.
Actually, I do have.
I do have 5G, but I'm not getting better reception. So.
Fair.
So, and wait, we were talking about all these new projects. Someone on Instagram just said that they would love to donate services to curate wellness experience like yoga and meditation. I mean,
Sweet.
Yeah. Oh, speaking of that, coming up over the next few weeks, next week, definitely be here. We're going to have Foundation 45 from Austin, Texas on, and they are the group that helps Austin musicians as well as a little further outreach with mental health, physical health, all sorts of stuff. I'm hoping April will have time to drop in because I know she's talked to them before, and really rad group. And don't let their name make you think anything. That they had that name way before that, and I'm sure they can explain where the name came from next week. So I'm stoked about that. The week after that, I'm going to go ahead and break the silence, ladies and gentlemen. Not this coming Wednesday, but the following Wednesday, Mr. Jim Limberg of Pennywise will be our guest. And we've been talking to him a long time about doing it, and it finally worked out. So it's going to be really rad.
So I get to interview Jim on my birthday. That's beautiful.
Yep. The week after that, Miguel Chen, Miggy, from Teenage Bottle Rocket, speaking of yoga and meditation.
And good book to read.
Yep. He's going to be our guest after that. And then we're going to get into June with some cool stuff too. So I know the first week of June, we're going to have a couple of the members of Cigar and Fletcher from Pennywise on the same show. So
Ask him about that time with Jack from TSOL.
I'm
the stage.
I'm sure there were more than one. We had Jack a couple of months back. It was awesome having him sit here and talk to us about and be Jack. It was really cool.
Yeah. He's so good.
Yeah. Awesome. And I got to do a Warped Tour with him. So I was out there with him for a whole summer.
Oh my God.
Yes. Yes. It was unbelievable. So that was like, and when he told me yes, he'd come on with this, it was one of those crazy honors. But I will second that. Yeah, I will second that, Joe. I know we're friends, but this huge honor that you decided to come on and talk to us.
Thank you for inviting me. This is fun. Well,
everybody, please go every show, Joe. Get it. Dan's put it in the comments here. And yep. So it's Dan's. He's probably going to post it again. Look at him. I can see. Yeah.
Nice.
Well, I need a couple of those for the camper there, Joe.
I can send you some.
Yep.
I'm not seeing a lot of people right now.
Did I ever get you and I got to get Aaron one? I know that, but did I get you your poster from the Hoedown?
No, I never saw it.
I thought I mailed both of y'all one, but Aaron says he never got his. So I'll get a couple more out. We still have them. So.
Sweet. Thank you.
just remind me and text me your address again, and I'll get it up. Aaron told me. Aaron Heise is another Phoenix area guy that does a lot of the live streams, and he's talking to us about live streaming our what's our thing, the hoedown, if we have it during punk rock bowling this year. It looks like we're having it, but there's a few things just kind of I want to nail them down before, and we can't start talking to bands for our agreement with punk rock bowling until they're done.
Cool. Club shows are announced in
when they do their club. Yeah. So when they're done with their club shows, we can move forward with ours to give you another one. That's just the agreement that Stearns and I came with, and it works out really well, and they support us big time. So I can't say anything bad about the Stearns. I know there are people that say good and bad, but they've always been great to me. So that's all that matters in my world to me, is all of us being good to each other. So couple of things I want you to check out, please. Our ladies side launched the I Am Badass t-shirts and everything out there for a pre-order starting today. So go out there, and it's about a 2-week pre-order, but any woman or a woman identifying anything, please, I Am a Badass. The shirts are out there, and it's badass women empowering badass women, which is really, really cool. So please do that. Be launching the kids book. We'll be launching, and it's Punk Rover Saves Lives. I think I held it up a couple of weeks ago. We're going to have a release party for it here in Denver on May 29th at Mutiny Information Cafe. Talked to an artist today, but I'm going to wait to announce that to come play some kids songs. And Kurt, the artist who does the Tony Sly books for the Tony Sly Foundation, drew and wrote our book as well, and he's going to be there to sign books that day, and then they'll be readily available through our website. And believe it or not, I can't believe I'm going to say this, they'll be available through Amazon. And to segue into that, whether you do Amazon or not, it has become a necessity in the world, especially in publishing books. So that's how they publish. You can self-publish through them. So, and they just charge what it costs to make the book. So luckily, it's not. We'll be able to receive donations for it and do a lot of good with that. But they also just activated us on Amazon Smile. So if you do Amazon, please choose us, Punk Rock Saves Lives, as your charity. It's only a very small percentage, but anytime you order something, a little bit gets donated to Punk Rock Saves Lives. So if you do Amazon, please use Amazon Smile instead of Amazon. Exact same thing, doesn't affect your Prime or anything, but you can choose a charity to part of your purchase will go to that charity. So, and we are active there now, so please check that out. Lots of cool stuff coming. Riot Squad Media is revamping our website over the next few weeks. Somebody that is not just us goofing off trying to make a website, somebody that knows what they're doing, going to make some cool stuff and some stuff. And Riot Squad Media are also the people behind Camp Punksylvania, which is a big festival that's going to happen in September as well. And we will be there, and we're going to do some cool announcements there. So there's a lot going on, and we'll be back here next week. So please check it out. Joe, any closing words?
Thank you for inviting me. Yeah, it was a pleasure and fun, and I miss this kind of interactions with everyone.
You're welcome anytime. If you want to jump on when we're interviewing someone and say hello and set up a stream or something, just let me know.
Okay.
You're one of us, and we love it. And Dan, anything to say in closing?
Man, I got nothing either.
I love it.
Just happy to be here.
We're a bunch of words.
I did just change my Amazon Smiles to you guys. So.
Well,
you reminded me. I was like, that's right.
We had a lunch with some friends the other day, or a brunch with some friends the other day, and someone was talking about something, and a couple of us didn't understand what they were talking about, and one of them looked across at me and went, words, and I went, yes. So perfect. Everybody be safe. I say this. Oh, I didn't ask Joe the question. Here's the last thing you have to answer, Joe. Where would your life be today had you not found punk rock? What do you think?
Probably more down the tech side and of things. Still probably programming stuff and going down the computer path more directly, though.
A little less happy?
I don't know what I would do without music or
There
punk rock.
And I know you fall on the ska side a lot, but
Yes.
I do not differentiate. I think punk and ska are all one giant community, and I don't believe in breaking them apart. So
I think they are, and a lot of the same common values.
did I lose you? Oh no, it just went quiet. I thought Richard said Dan's already said too much this week. Dan's our silent Bob, so I love it.
And that's been another really cool thing in the last year. They call it Ska Twitter. There's a very active ska community on Twitter, and it's a lot of the East Coast ska bands. There's a really vibrant ska scene where it's coming back, or it's here, or whatever phrase you want to put to it.
Never dying.
Yes.
I gotta completely nail it down, but I did get we want to be involved from a female East Coast ska band to be on the second album, and I'm just going to leave it at that. You can run that through your head of who that might be. But so we're working on that, and I'm going to I got to email them the agreements, like I got to do the Venomous Beings. So there we go, reminding myself again. Thank you guys. I say it every week. One love, up the punks. Everybody have a great night. One love.
Take care.
Cheers, guys.